Today I am cutting jobs. We use the crane. The crane is pretty manual. It's a big vacuum. It can lift an entire slab. That's basically where we start.
This saw is our primary saw for cutting countertops. It's a 5-axis saw. When all axes are interpolated, it means the blade can move like this. Joseph is our sawyer. He does most of the day in, day out cutting. To be able to operate this saw is more than just being able to cut a rectangle out. Not only is our CAD department very good programmers to get the most out of these machines, but our operators as well. They get the most out of using every feature of these saws. And so that's something that we really promote with our operators, and they do a really good job of it. Once Joseph is done cutting the slabs, they go off to the polishing team. Most of our countertops will start at one of our 2 big edging machines. They're both from Italy. They are considered the Ferraris of edging machines. They are very fast. They go in one side, they come out the other side finished. And from there, they will go to our hand polishing team. Java and Cliff have been with our company for over 20 years. These are the highest level of craftsmen that we have. So having craftsmen like Java and Cliff, in addition to the technology that we have down here as a company, is really what makes this company special. So while these guys are busy producing our day in, day out countertops, I'm gonna retire to my little corner and work on my special project that I've been working for now for over 2 years. Something that I kind of do on the side, but let me show it to you. So this is Soulmates. This is a commissioned sculpture for the Spokane Valley Arts Council that I'm working on. It's a larger than life-size marble sculpture. It's in 2 Italian marbles. They are hollow forms and they're covered with acanthus leaves. In Mediterranean culture, the acanthus leaf represents eternal life. The premise of the sculpture is that they are soulmates. They are bound by grief. The hollowness of their forms is she's hollow with a sense of loss, and he's basically devoid of life. The most of it is hand sculpting, and I have 3 pieces in process right now, and the 4th one's on the machine right now as we speak. The piece is difficult for me because I have to get it out of my head somehow. I come up with a concept, and I work with another friend of mine who's a digital artist. And I tell him, okay, this is what I want to see. I give him rough sketches, and he starts basically molding this in the computer, and he starts working back and forth, and it was actually 2 years in this process. And what makes this one so difficult, it's to make all these parts as a machinable file. That makes the drawing so much more complicated. The most challenging thing about working on this piece is the complexity of the piece itself. It's very fragile, it's very complicated. The machines are helping me to kind of rough the pieces in. But as the pieces are coming off the machine, I still have to hollow them out. I still have to do all the detailing by hand. So it's a difficult piece. It's a monumental piece. The details for this sculpture are, the acanthus leaves and some of the facial details. These are the details that make the piece. As a sculptor, you want to make these sculptures come to life. These are the details that will do that. And so I have to balance structure with finesse. And that's the challenge of this piece. So for today, I have to put Soulmates to rest, put away what I want to do, and go to church. I'm at St. Augustine's Church, and today I'm beginning to install the hand that I was working on last week. I'm not simply just installing this hand, I'll be continuing the sculpting process into the existing sculpture that's here. I got it pretty close in the shop, but now that I'm up here at the site, I can tune it in now, because really I want it to look like it's always been there and nobody's the wiser. So there's a copper pin that helps support the arm to there and keep it in there. Normal part of this sort of restoration. I'm making sure that that pin is stable from both ends. Once I reattach that in there, we'll kind of manipulate that around, and once it's attached, we'll let that glue dry, we'll let that sit up, and then we'll take the glue off and blend everything in, and then I'll sculpt everything right into place, and hopefully it'll blend right in, and that'll be the end of it. Now that I've reattached the hand, I think I'm done with this project, so I'm gonna head back to the shop. I heard that the first panel of the wall project is done, so I'm eager to get back there and get my hands on that and get this one going, because we are under a time crunch.
We've wrapped up the first day. We are on our way through the first panel. Buddy and I got the first panel going. We got the blade rough going with the 28-inch granite blade.
That is a 5-axis saw. It has, sculpting and routing capabilities. It is a teamwork thing. The programmer will tell the machine what to do. The operator makes sure that the machine is doing what it's doing.
If you don't have the right programmer, you're not going to have a good product. It's simple as that. At Mario & Son, we don't have bad products, so we like to think we have the guy, and Skylar is the guy. So when you have a product like this, a project like this, you have to have the right people in the right places. It's a whole other animal to have somebody that can program in 3D. And so Skylar he's the top of his game. We're lucky to have him.
So it's been a successful day at Mario & Son. We have completed the first panel. A lot of pressure. The first panel, or the first thing of many, is always the most difficult. You're trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to produce what you're trying to produce. Having Buddy come out, a lot of pressure to perform, make sure everything goes well.
I can talk about all the 40-something years of experience I have, but seeing what these young men do, with the computers and operating some of those machines, it's amazing. And I'm very comfortable, and I'm very glad that I made the trip. I'm going to sleep better tonight. I'm not going to wake up in the middle of the night going, what if? It's the type of confidence I would hope someone would instill in me if they were calling me from across the country to help them with a project on the East Coast.
It is a relief to know that we successfully made it through that first panel, but the pressure is still on. We still have 19 more to go.
So this is the moment I've been waiting for. It's been a lot of work to get one of these panels in my hands, but I finally have it, so now my work is to get these panels looking good. Now that the first panel's off the machine, I'm going to start the chiseling process and see what I have to do to get the machine marks out, get everything squared away, get the corners square, see what it takes to get the panels to a state of completion. While I get situated, Brendan's going to start on the second panel. Let's hope I can keep up with his pace. This project, in the grand scheme of things, isn't a very big project for us. It's just complicated, and it's being done very quickly. But without people like Brandon, we couldn't do it. And it just goes to show you, as a business owner, you can have all the great machinery in the world, but without the best people, any company will fail. Brandon is a prime example of that. It just gives me a great sense of pride that it just happens to be my son.
Now switching over to our router bits. So I'll be starting with what we call the hog. What that allows us to do is allows us to take out large chunks of material to then make it easier for our smaller finishing bits.
You never really understand how the granite is going to react to the diamond tools. And this particular granite is more abrasive than most granites that we've encountered. And it is wearing away the matrix of the diamonds much quicker than we anticipated.
You're dealing with many different geometries, many different slopes, many different angles. The programming alone on something like that is substantial. When you're dealing with something like this, you have tool height limitations, you have tool radius limitations. You're trying to create such a fine, sharp shape with round bits in deep pockets. To get to that, you basically have to finish it out by hand. It's just the way that it is.
Well, with the amount of issues we had with the diamond tooling, there's much more surface work that I'm going to have to do with the chisels. I don't mind doing it, but there's a lot more vibration that I'm going to have to endure on these panels. In a way, it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of risky because with all these corners everywhere, there's a good chance of chipping these corners out, so you have to be very, very careful. So I have to be very conscious of that.
It was excellent to have Buddy come out and collaborate on this project. It's great to have access to such a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience. It's made the process that much easier. So definitely nice to have him come out.
My flight's leaving early tomorrow, and I am really happy with this visit.
It was an amazing day at Mario & Son. Orders were fulfilled. Statue got his hand back. One panel done, 19 more to go. I can't wait to show you what happens next on the next episode of Mario & Son.